Good afternoon, and welcome to Hope Center, our message for Sunday, May 2nd, 2021. Our message today is out of Psalm 73, and starting in verse 1. And this is about an interesting question. This is about looking at the evil in other people and not recognizing yourself. We all know it's about take the beam out of your own eye before you take the mote out of your brother's eye. But this is what I'm talking about here is a more extreme case, which we often see in our world today. Psalm 73, starting at verse 1. Truly God is good to Israel, even to such as are of a clean heart. What is that? He's saying, okay, God's good to Israel. God's good to his people. Verse 2. This is where it actually starts to get interesting. But as for me, my feet were almost gone. My steps had well nigh slipped. He said, I was almost a goner. I'm almost done for because of my situation. Now he talks about it. Verse 3. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. This is the point. I was envious of the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. We look at the wicked, we say, oh, that's not right. Oh, God should do something about that. Why should they have it so easy and I have it so hard? I bust my back and get nowhere, and these people, they do nothing and they get all the goodies. And no matter what is going on, why is God allowing this? Verse 4, there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. He goes on to talk about these people. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. They got it so easy. They don't have problems like other people do. They don't have problems with other people. Everything just works fine for them. They just have no problems. Verse 6. Therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain. Violence covers them as a garment. So they're full of pride because everything just moves so easy for them. And he says they're violent. They take things by force because they think they're entitled to it, so they take it. Verse 7. Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than their heart could wish. They have everything they want and more. You ever notice it's in the heart of people that are rich? It's like they'll tell you they don't want everything, but they just want more. They always want more. There's an old saying about the farmer who didn't want all the land, he just wanted the land next to his. Well, that adds up to the same thing, doesn't it? Verse 8, they are corrupt, they speak wickedly concerning oppression, they speak loftily. They talk in big terms. We've seen these people talking in big terms, but they really have no heart for the people. They have no heart for the world. They're corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. It's like oppression is no big deal. Verse 9, they set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth. So they talk about there's no God, or if there's God, God doesn't matter, or God doesn't care about what they're doing, or they can get away with it with God. Therefore, his people return hither, and waters of a full cup are wrung out to them. They have a full measure of all the good things in the world. And they say, how does God know? And where is knowledge of the Most High? So how does God know? God's up there, we're down here. And is there knowledge to the Most High? Does anybody really know anything about God? Verse 12, behold, these are the ungodly, who prosper in the world, they increase in riches. They just seem to get more and more wealthy all the time. You listen to the news and it talks about the top 1.5% of the population getting 15% or 25% or even 85% of the earnings in the whole country. Like, what kind of a deal is that? How can that? And it seems like the politicians play into their hands to give them what they want because they're rich to begin with. Now he talks about himself, verse 13. Verily I have cleansed my heart in vain and washed my hands in innocency. Hey, I'm clean in all this. For all the day long have I been plagued and chastened every morning. He said, I've been plagued and chastened every day. God's on my case. He's working with me. He's working in me. He's working around me. And I get this every day. And the rich don't get that. Verse 15. If I say I will speak thus, behold, I should offend against the generation of my children. When I thought to know this, it was too painful for me. Verse 17. Now he starts talking again. Until I went into the sanctuary of God, then I understood their end. Now he's looking at it from God's perspective. He's getting a different look at the rich. Until I went into the sanctuary of God, in the presence of God, then understood I their end, the end of the rich. It's not about arguing about it, it's about understanding it spiritually. Verse 18, surely thou didst set them in slippery places. Thou castest them down into destruction. They're in a tough place too. We don't recognize it with our eyes. We can't see it with our eyes, but spiritually, they're in a tough place. Verse 19, how are they brought into desolation? As in a moment. They are utterly consumed with terrors. What we can't see is their own fears. But God should make sure that those that think that they do it on their own, they have their own terrors. What if I lose it? If they thought they got it, they know that they can lose it, the same way that they got it. Verse 20, as a dream when one awakeneth, so, O Lord, when thou awakenest, thou shalt despise their image. It's not that God's asleep. That's not what he means by awakens. When God decides to move, he shall despise their image. Thus my heart was grieved, and I was pricked in my reins. So foolish was I, and ignorant. I was as a beast before thee. See, the whole point here of this psalm is it's easy to look at the rich. It's easy to look at those who have prospered and done well and say, Lord, it's not fair. But you don't know where they're at, and they don't know where you're at. They don't really care about you. And you're caring about them and about all the riches that they have. And the whole point is you don't know what they have to pay to keep what they got. And they can't keep it. When God decides to take it away, it's gone. They can't hang on to it. So it's one thing to say, I'll pull the beam out of your eye as soon as I get the mote out of my eye. But this is a whole different case. This is much more extreme. And this is a problem for many Christians. Why? Because I can look in the natural and say, it's not fair. They have riches, they have new cars, they have new houses, they have a vacation spot, they have this, they have that, and I don't have anything. And it may be true. But you don't know where they are spiritually and what they had to pay to get what they got. Because I can tell you, often they had to pay a lot spiritually. And they all labor under fear. Fear that everything they got they can lose. Because it's true, they can lose it. And when you're in that place, there's nothing more scary. And none of those things can really please you. You can have all that stuff. The new car, the new houses, the vacation spot, all that stuff. But if you're scared of losing it all, you really don't get any joy out of it. So the whole point here is you don't look in the natural. Yes, you can see that they have this, they have that, and they have the other, and that you don't have it. And the question is, so what? Who says that you need it? Your whole position is to make your life happy or pleasing to God. Your first job is to make it pleasing to God. The second job after that is to make it as comfortable as you can under the circumstances that you have. And a lot of people live under very difficult circumstances. And it's not our job to make everybody else's position good. It is our job to pray for the people that God puts on our heart, to help those the way that He wants us to help them. And it may be financially, but it may be just a word of encouragement. It may be a prayer. It doesn't matter what it is. We're there to help others, and we don't get envious over what other people have, because when we pass away, God gives us everything. He says he goes to prepare mansions for us. And this is God himself who said he went to do that for us. We have eternal immortal bodies that never get tired, never get hungry, never get thirsty, and never get hurt. So when we come to that in eternity, which is a lot longer than the life that we live, why should we care about what other people have in the natural? So never get caught up in the natural with what other people have. But give it back to God and say, God, you know, and that has nothing to do with me. These are my problems. This is what I pray for, and God, I need your help. Take me through to your glory and praise. And he will. He will help you, and that is my message for today.